Hello, hello. Well, it is years after the end of the Cold War, and rather than fighting the communists or just the Russians in general, well, they are taking care of it themselves. What do you mean? Oh, they have found a way to. Basically, they have now nuked themselves. At least twice. Of course, there's Chernobyl. And just a plethora of mistakes there. And then they were supposedly, from what I've heard, they were testing a nuclear-powered rocket. And it went kaplooey. And huge cloud of radiation spread across Russia like, I don't know, like spring pollen. Huge cloud just wafting into people's homes and bodies to do untold damage. And then it moved over into Eastern Europe, and then Europe itself. Well done, geniuses. You know that t-shirt? Why, yes, I am a rocket scientist. Yeah, these guys need to turn that in. Or just burn them. You might need to burn them, considering they're probably radioactive. Alright, so is this mess going to hurt us? It was hurting the world. It's, you know, the planet's round. Even though if the bulk of it doesn't reach us directly. You know, air you're breathing right now is air that was somewhere else, you know? It was on the other side of the planet here at some point. So, but what's going to happen with that? Are there going to be more messes like this? It sounds like Trump in his infinite, endless stupidity is pulling out of the New START treaty, that limits medium-range nuclear weapons. It might do more because I'm hearing talk that the US might be going back into their own versions of nuclear-powered missiles that can go for weeks at a time. Which would be great if you are trying to blow up an asteroid, about to hit the Earth, but pretty damaging in every other case. So what's going to happen here with Russian nuclear, two for the center, right? All right, Russians, they are, if it wasn't for the oil, they really would just be considered, you know, as powerful as Czechoslovakia back in the day. I mean, it's just, and then I know really now it's the Czech Republic and, you know, what have you, but Russia, it just doesn't have much strength. And when I read on it, for all the land that they have, there's an overall rural feel to it. With America, you get, the thing about America is it's positioned in such a place, and with the 4 different time zones and the 2 different coasts, and I mean, and there's urban and there's rural and there's desert and there's swamps and there's incredible forests and majestic mountains and great plains and really scary tornadoes that we have more than anywhere else on Earth just because of the topography, that wonderful, the mountainous sort of mountains over here, big open spaces laid out in just such a way that, yeah, lucky us. Well, we got the Wizard of Oz out of it, so it's not all bad. But all right, Russian radiation and in general. You idiots. Why are you messing with radiation? You obviously can't control it. You can't deal with it. You can't it's not just the Russians, it's everybody. Even the people, say, in America, the scientists who, I mean, I have a relative who was a nuclear physicist who, was exposed to a great deal of radiation. It's just we don't really have really have enough capability right now to safely deal with radiation. Not really. Although, if you are ever, I've read about this. If you are ever stuck somewhere and there's an explosion, or there's a radiation cloud coming toward you, or whatever it is, get underwater quickly, because literally just 8-10 inches of water can help mitigate the amount of radiation in a huge way. So go down there and hold your breath for as long as possible. And you might be, Of course, when you come back up, everything around is going to be irradiated, but apparently that's supposed to help. The more you know. In the past. Yeah, let's do the arms race. Chariot racing. Major Arcana. Important. The whole era of terrifying children who hide under their desks like that will do anything. Center the reading. Oh, we love all this energy. We love the capability. We love the power. We love the things about physics we learned. Oh, there have been some accidents and some bad stuff. Ya think? Base of the reading. Trump and the Trump administration. Oh, that's worrying. I'm worried right there. This is scary. This is scary. I don't know. That's pretty darn terrifying. Above the reading. It's a lot of what's caused problems is the lack of funding, the lack of training, the lack of protection, the lack of contingencies. But people are, it's not like, I'm not going to sit here and say, gosh, all nuclear scientists and people who work with them are lazy. That's not it. There's not enough going into the whole thing of, I don't even think we've got the technology right now, to be honest, to really deal with this. And then we get the waste, and what do you do with it? And you bury it, and you think then it's gone, but it's not, and it leaks, and water supplies, and it just goes on and on and on. So, but there are very smart people, trying to find a better way to deal with it, which, I don't know, maybe should involve not dealing with it for a while until we can better deal with it. But nobody's gonna ask me. That's just my 2 cents. Near future. This feels like disease. This is radiation sickness. Yeah, there are gonna be a lot of sick people who may or may not be able to link it back to being to the massive radiation cloud. But yeah, that's a lot of sick people. This is people who they care about. It isn't that they care about the environment, they care about their land, their money, their stuff. So they're willing to take all these risks. Like the power companies and the oil companies, but hopefully you know what I mean. They care about more themselves, their selfishness and their greed, more than caring about other people. Home environment. Fortunately, what I'm being drawn to is the caduceus, the symbol of medicine and people needing help. This is very much linked to that, and my gosh, these people feel so ill. They feel so sick. And I think there were, even at the time of the accident, for people being moved in ambulances, and they literally put giant tape to tape the ambulances closed so none of the radioactive, dust or fallout or dirt or anything would leak as the victims were being transported. And of course the Russians have lied about the whole thing. They can't deal with it. Hopes and fears. We can juggle it, we can handle it, we can make it safe. No, you can't. Oh no, it'll be fine. No. Little people on these ships in the background going, no, you can't deal with it. What other people see? This is cups are for water signs. It's emotional. It's emotional entreaties, very reasonable, gentle entreaties to stop. But I don't know if that's actually what's going to happen. This is people trying to find out information about what actually happened. This is it's a very reasonable response. And sometimes it does get emotional. But it's not like the whole world up in arms. That isn't that feels like. That's more diplomacy. Final outcome, more the same. Selfish people, selfish oligarchs, selfish Putin. More training, more Navy stuff, more nuclear this, that, and everything else. And this being drawn to the aura around his head as if he can't see radiation poisoning. He can't see radiation, but that's much as if his head's been dunked in one of those green barrels of goo you used to get in old video games. The barrels of radioactive goo, and you could shoot them twice and the barrels would explode. Yeah, that's his head's been dunked in that. So we should listen. We should listen. We didn't listen because we wanted the power, even though there were setbacks. So smart people today are trying to find better ways to do it, but we don't have the technology. We don't. And some people are going to be horrendously sick, and it's going to continue to be a mess, and the response is going to be wussy, and it's just going to continue. I wish I had better news. Down here, this is Trump not remotely standing up to Putin. Have a great evening. I'm sorry. I wish I had better news. Will we ever, give me something, in the future, will we ever be able to control this? Will we find something better? Will we, is there something hopeful in the future to look forward to? Young people saying enough. Boy, this is the young people of the generations coming up right now, but also in future, just these older generations saddled them with a climate mess, radiation, debt. I mean, just a huge mess, and them just growing up saying no. We care about people, not your greed. That's going to be their watchword. I'm not saying they're necessarily going to achieve this, but the water bear, we're really entering the age of Aquarius, and the Aquarius is the sign of the water bearer, and it isn't that you necessarily attach yourself to each person, but you go through and you give this person water and that person water, and they need water and they need water and they need water and they need water. And then if somebody comes back and they're like, oh, we want more, or oh, it's like, no, there's enough to split it out evenly, and it's very fair, and it can seem a little cold. but it's laid out in such a way because these future generations, they've had it. Enough, enough, enough. We care. You have to care about the world. That's the past. And they will vilify. The greed is good generations. They will vilify. All right? So that's what I'm getting. Slightly better note, more hopeful. All right? And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much to my patrons. You don't know how much of a difference you're making. It's huge. All right? Somebody's doing construction outside. Time to go, time to go. But I hope you're well where you are. Hang in there. There are good days ahead.